If they break into your house during the day, they're coming for your stuff. If they break into your house at night, they're coming for you. And even if they're not coming directly for you, they know you're home and they don't care, so they're coming for you. So here is my advice from someone who was a cat burglar. I used to break into people's homes for many years as to what you should do if this unfortunately happens and you find yourself in a situation where you find that someone has broken into your home in the middle of the night. These are the things that you need to do. Number one, this is
Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to the Gorgiss Society. And today we are continuing on leaning into personal safety. So today we'll be listening to stories, harrowing accounts of women going through dealing with safety issues, and huge trigger warning. Women, sharing, how they were attacked and what they're doing now, to keep themselves safe and to also warn others, so that you can be prepared, so that you can do the best that you can do to avoid these types of situations. So that's what we're more so focusing on. And again, trigger warning, if your nervous system is not regulated today, I will catch you in the next video, and I look forward to seeing you there. But if you have it in you to be able to listen in, listen up, and receive the cautionary tales and receive the safety tips, then let's move forward.
Here are 6 safety tips everyone needs to know about before they go to college. Coming from a girl who was sexually assaulted 5 days into school. And no, I wasn't the only one. 6 of my other friends had the same experience. Please watch to the end and share this because this is very important. First of all, everyone needs to understand is there's a red zone in university. The red zone is a period of time where most sexual assaults on campus take. It's typically from the first day of school to the end of Thanksgiving. But the worst part of it is all week. I know this because when I went to go get my SANE test done after the incident, the nurses told me it was like a revolving door of sexual assaults that week. So you actually have to be careful. Number 1, don't trust people you just met. You don't know these people, you're allowed to make friends and obviously have fun, but you don't know them and you don't know their intentions. Typically people you know or people you're friends with or your family who do this shit to you. So be careful. Also when you're drinking, put down how much you're drinking. You're gonna take a Sharpie and put it on your arm of how many shots or whatever you have. Because you need to know how much you're consuming. And ladies, do not consume alcohol in front of men. That is my rule now. I don't care if you're my best friend or what, you're not doing that shit. Do not be alone with them. It's just not safe. Also, watch everything get poured and do not take other drinks. Don't put your drink down. A lot of people can spike your drinks in college. It's very, very common. So you need to be careful. Number 2, always give your friends your location and tell them where you're going. And not just the friends you just met, someone from your home. For example, my friend Mercy lives here and I always keep my low on for her. And when I go out, I kind of tell her hey, I'm going here. Because if I don't return home or if something happens, she's like, wait, this girl's not where she's supposed to be with who she's supposed to be with. It's just good to have that. Number 3, get dog spray or coyote spray. They sell it at Canadian Tire. There are a lot of coyotes on campus and a lot of big dogs. So if you're walking alone at night, it may attack you. And you want to make sure you have something ready if you're being attacked. A lot of things to protect yourself are not allowed in residence, but coyote spray is allowed. So get that. Now, number 4, this is very, very important. If you're being essayed and being coerced into situations you're not trying to be in, or if simply someone's going against you, start peeing. If you start peeing, they're either going to get really, really grossed out and jump back at you, or it's going to catch them by surprise. If they still keep doing shit to you, then all of your DNA is... Don't worry about the embarrassment. This is the best way to get out of that situation. So pee. Number 5, if someone wants your number, give it to them. Some people are not right in the head and they will react crazily if you don't give that number up. A lot of women have passed away because they didn't give a number up. It's not worth it. Take the number, block them later. Don't take that risk because you never know what someone's going to do. And number 6, never be alone. Don't be out on the streets drunk alone. Don't be out in the streets intoxicated by yourself. If your friends leave you, go. Get an Uber and just go home. If you're with your friends and you have common sense, stay with your friends at all times. Don't let them stumble into some next guy's car. As a matter of fact, if you guys are ever in a situation with a guy and you don't want to be there, do not go to the second location. So yes, stay with your friends, never go to a second location, and make sure you're watching over each. Now, if you have been sexually assaulted, you're gonna go do a SANE test, or it's referred to as the rape kit. If you can't go the day of, you're not gonna wash your hair or take off any of your clothes. If you already took off your clothes, put them in plastic bags. Don't wash or brush your hair, just stay still, don't shower. That's gonna suck, but that's how they're gonna get the documentation and the DNA. Even if you don't want to press charges, I know at first I didn't want to, you can do an anonymous one where they keep it in the hospital for 6 months till you're ready and decide what to do with it. But yes, please go there because there's so many things you can catch. Get your blood work done, your HIV PEP, everything, because that's what's gonna keep you safe, unfortunately. Anyways, that's all for me today. If you or someone you know has been sexually assaulted, please do not be afraid to reach out. There are people that are there for you, and if you need to talk, my DMs are always open. The next video right after this one is going to include all the sexual assault hotlines and or the hospitals that offer services, and I'm going to do it for every single university in Ontario. So make sure you watch that one as well. But yeah, stay smart, stay safe, and have...
First of all, I just want to commend her for being so extremely brave, extremely brave, for being able to share what happened to her and having the courage to share it, and just being brave enough to inspire others, because so many probably aren't able to share their stories. They're still dealing with it, or maybe in therapy, or might not be in therapy. So I just appreciate her so much for being brave to share what she went through. I commend her and thank her, for being able to have the strength to give others, safety tips, and have in ways that they can be prepared for such situations if you might find yourself in that situation. And it's really awful, a freshman in college, just starting school, and then to hear what the nurse said, that it was a revolving door of young women that have been harmed and assaulted. Like that is just extremely disheartening, that that's the type of world where people want to take advantage of someone just because they're young and naive and just getting their life started, and are in an unfamiliar place around unfamiliar people. So again, she gave some great tips in there, and she did bring up the coyote spray. So I was going to do this later in the video, but I'll bring it up again. Like, all of these are going to be, they're going to be links down below, affiliate links for Amazon to get all of these personal safety items. I myself am collecting them like Ash Ketchum. Gotta catch them all. And I love them. And they come in some really cute girly colors, or you can get them all black and say incognito with it, incognito, if you will. You can keep them all black, or, make being safe fun and get it in the colors that you love. But again, we have just a variety of personal safety items here. We got the stun gun with the pepper spray combo in the middle. The birdie box is popular. It's a personal alarm that you can push that makes a lot of noise to detract someone who's up on you, and to alert others around you that something is going on. And also, it locks your door. You can take it with you when you're traveling, if you're staying in hotels or Airbnbs or wherever. And then, of course, there's a single birdie alarm there, personal alarm. And then the one that I personally have that I have at the moment. I'm waiting on some other stuff to come, but I love the lipstick or the perfume looking pepper spray, because again, it's very unassuming. So if someone is bothering you, or you feel like a situation is about to go left, and you could take that out like you're about to reapply your lipstick or put on some perfume and just go in on them and hightail it out of there, So I love the ones that look like everyday beauty items. I'm going to have a link down there. There's a hairbrush that's a stun gun. So I love that, and you can have these items in different places. So you always have something at your disposal to grab, at a moment's notice, in your car, in the bathroom, at your home, at your workplace, wherever. And this, because I love a good trail walk. That's what I do daily for my exercise. It's the pepper gel with the straps on the hands there. So you can have it easily accessible when you're walking. I'm going to double up, have one for each hand. So I'm going to stay ready, so I don't have to get ready, so I love that. I love that idea. Then the combo with the knife and the pepper spray. Then we got the doorstop, can hold up to 400 pounds, withstand up to 400 pounds. And then another doorstop with an alarm on it, so you will be alerted if this happened. You were in another part of your home and someone got in the door. So all kinds of amazing ways at our disposal that are not expensive either. I also have like a Ring type camera down there that you can have if you live in an apartment or in a home, So all kind of stuff today, just to help us feel more empowered and more safe.
Never drive yourself to the second location. And that's coming from someone who spent 10 years in prison with a lot of bad people. This is me right here. And I'm telling you right now, if you're getting into your car at any place and someone jumps in the car with you and you're not able to get away, do not allow them to convince you that if you drive to a second location, they're going to let you go as long as you comply. They're not going to let you go. And whatever is going to happen at that second location is far worse than you crashing your car into a stoplight, into an electric pole, into a concrete barrier. I'm telling you, you have a better chance at surviving that than surviving the second location that you're going to drive yourself to. You're driving yourself to your own, and you're going to suffer horribly and immeasurably at that second location. So what you need to do, if you're ever in that situation, you need to find something that's man-made. Remember this, never crash into something that is made by Mother Nature, because the oak tree is probably not going to allow you to survive, but that man-made structure most likely will. So you find a busy intersection, you find a spot on the highway, and you drive your car into it. And you don't need to put the pedal to the metal. You just need to be going a decent enough speed for people to stop and want to check on you. 20, 30 miles per hour, even 40, a little pushing it. You have your seatbelt on, you grab that wheel, and no matter what they do, because I'm telling you right now, they're not going to slice your throat, and they're not going to you in the middle of you driving while they're in the car. They're going to threaten that they are, but they're not. And let's just say for a second that they do. Your chances of surviving that are far better than you going to that second location. So what you're going to do is you're going to go towards whatever you see that you need to crash. And right before you hit it, you're going to gently turn your wheel to the left a little bit, not to the right because you don't want to crash on your side, but to the left a little bit because that's likely the side they'll be on. And even if they're not, it's okay. I doubt they have their seatbelt on. You're going to turn your wheel about 15 degrees. It's like this much, okay? Turn your wheel a little bit so that the car shifts. You're not going to hit hard. You're not going to turn hard, but you're just going to turn your car a little bit so it smashes on that side of the car away from you. They'll either fly to that side of the car or they'll already be on that side of the car. And hopefully, because they don't have their seatbelt on, I'm pretty sure they won't, they will absorb the impact and you will be secure. You might be injured. You might even be unconscious. It might even become a really bad accident. But one thing a perpetrator is not going to do is they're not going to drag an injured or deceased body out of a car and start running. They're going to get their shit and they're going to run. People are going to stop and they're going to come help you. And let's say worst case scenario, you don't make it. Guess what? You didn't go to the second location. Your family has a body to bury, and they're not going to be stuck for the rest of their lives wondering if you're ever coming home while you went to the second location thinking you were going to make it and were tortured to. If someone jumps in your car, do not let them convince you to drive to the second location, baby. Crash that car. And if they see that you're about to crash and they say, "What are you doing?" "I'm about to, that's an even better situation than you making it to wherever they're trying to take you. I pray you're never in this situation, but I really do hope this reaches everybody that it needs to reach and helps at least one person out there. I give safety advice and tips from my perspective as someone who spent 10 years in prison every week. So come back for more. I love you guys, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.
Whew, I mean, that right there is straight from the horse's mouth. She said she spent 10 years in prison. So first-hand safety tips. And I completely agree with her. Like, I could just see myself going kamikaze. Like, we both going to meet our maker today. Like, I really could. If I'm driving and they're in the back seat trying to have you at gunpoint or knife point, we going. We going to see him. We going to meet him today. Like, today's that day, because like she said, I'm not following following your instructions to no location. I'm literally in control, at this point with the vehicle. And I just kind of laughed a little bit. I know that's dark humor, but I'm like, when she was like, he probably won't have on a seatbelt. I just thought how bizarre and ludicrous that sounded for someone, some predator or aggressor, to have on their seatbelt while they're trying to force you to another location. Like, oh, safety first. All of a sudden, but no, that would be weird. But anyway, I digress. Just but great information there, and unfortunately, I know a bit morbid and that we have to think about these things, but they're worth thinking about, even just to tuck away in the back of your mind, the seed is planted for safety. It's not like this is something you got to think about every single day. But if you find yourself in that situation, your mind will have information to draw from, something to trigger the memory of what was said today, that you can go as a go-to, so I want us to enjoy our lives to the fullest and be happy and healthy. But I think all of that needs to be wrapped up in wisdom and discernment as much as we possibly can.
As someone who has grown up with a true crime mom and has personally turned into one herself, these are things that you're going to do as a woman that will make you less of a target. One, whenever you're alone, you're walking tall and proud. You know where you're going, you are confident. If somebody is looking at you, you are making eye contact with them, noting characteristics about them. We're not walking with our heads in our phones, looking down, looking scared, looking shy, looking like, you know what I'm saying? Looking like if somebody were to approach you, that you would be like, oh my god, no. Okay, next, if a stranger comes up to you trying to lower the distance between you, you back up and you tell them firmly to stop walking towards you, and ideally you also have a weapon on you that you're ready to use. Next, no earbuds, no anything, noise cancellation. That is honestly the worst and doesn't make sense. If you're going to have music in, it needs to be low enough for you to hear and be aware of your surroundings. A hotel or live in an apartment complex and a man is on the elevator with you, you guys get on at the same time, you ask him what's his floor, or you just let him put his floor first. Determine whether your floor is lower than his. If it's lower than his and you're getting a sketchy vibe or just don't want to trust it, pick a floor that's higher than his so he gets off first, and then after he exits, you pick your correct floor. Now, here are a little like less common ones. So if you're walking out of a place and there's a man close by you, sometimes it's really not even intentional, but you need to just be aware of your surroundings. You need to be looking all around 360 all the time. So if you're walking out of the store and a male is right behind you, you guys are going to the same direction, you're going to stop and you're going to let that man go in front of you so that you have view on him and you know that you can confidently say that he is not following you. Next, when you get in your car, you lock your car door, start your car, then you put on your seatbelt, because just in case you need to drive off, you can do that. And the next ones are more so if you're in the midst of an attack. So say you're in the car and somebody has a weapon and they're like, get out the car, or blah, blah, blah. You're not going to get out the car. If they're going to do something, they better do it now, because you're not going to go with them so they can torture you and do what else would to you. You just may have to meet the maker. You may not. Hey, and for instances outside of the car, if somebody is dragging you to the car, you better be fighting for your life. And instead of screaming for help, because sometimes help can deter people, you say fire. People are going to start looking into that area to see like, oh, where's the fire? Where's the fire? But the fire is really you. Will ultimately work in your favor, because if you're putting up a good enough struggle and now there are more eyes, that person is more likely to stop and flee. Oh, I forgot about this one. So when you're driving, you need to actually be paying attention to your surroundings still. There could be a car that's following you, getting your address, coming back later to do God knows what. So whenever you see situations like that, you need to drive to the police station. And in addition to all of this, get you a weapon. That's just like the key takeaway from all of this. You'll feel more confident. You'll feel more secure. Practice with it. Take classes.
And there you have it. I know, because, with getting a firearm, you have to go, there's a whole process with that. It's something I ultimately want to have and, do and all of that. But in the meantime, boom, we have a whole arsenal of personal safety that we can, at our disposal. So, one, several, all, plenty, be in the links down below there.
The Uber app has been getting really weird and sketchy lately, and I just wanted to warn women online that if an Uber driver ever says or asks you one of these things, don't listen. I just got an Uber and I get in. He starts complimenting me a lot and I'm like, oh, thank you. And I always sit behind the driver, but this guy had angled it to still look at me while I'm sitting behind him. I try to put my headphones back in, and then he asks me the strangest question. He goes, can you text me your exact address so I can move into the building? what? I look at him through the mirror and I'm like nervously like laughing, like I'm like like, oh, you know, like what do you mean? And he goes, oh, who do you live with? That's when sparks like just start like flying in my head. I'm like, oh, this is weird. I immediately go, oh, I live with my parents. I live with my parents and my older brother, and my parents pay the rent, and blah, 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 blah. That's when he's like, oh, okay. And then it goes quiet because the ride was really long. So I'm just sitting there and I see him still glancing at me through the mirror, and I'm just like trying to shrink myself into the door so that he can't see me. And then I start thinking about it. I'm like, do you not have and see my address on the app? Why would you ask me to personally text you my address? And then the fact that you then immediately asked me who I live with, like you're trying to figure out if I live by myself or not. That was my sister. That scared the shit out of me. But I'm like, why are you asking me to text you? Like, not on the Uber app, mind you. He wanted to get me to text him my full address with my number because my address is right in front of you. That was weird. That was really uncomfortable. And I was scared to like disagree because like I'm the only person in the car right now. Mind you, he can cancel the ride at any time and it'll like make it seem as if I just like left or some shit. So I'm just like, yeah, like of course I'll text you it. I'll text you it like once I get to my thing. I'm just gonna go on a call real quick. And then I quickly got out and I just like left, and I was like, that was really, really weird. If your Uber driver ever asks you for that, don't. If he ever asks if he can cancel your ride so that he can get you to transfer him the full amount of money since the Uber app doesn't pay him his full amount, don't. If they ever nag you, like when you're getting like a food delivery, to come outside when you specifically said, no, put it like in front of my door and then whatever, if they like nag you to come outside, especially if it's late at night, don't. This has happened to me so many times now. But anyways, watch out, ladies, be safe.
Yeah, so many red flags with that Uber driver. Like, stop asking me weird personal questions. And literally our entire transaction is handled through the app. I don't need to send you nothing separately. I don't need to, not my address, not the payment, not anything. Everything is done. Well, I actually have never used Uber. I use Lyft for when I do any type of ride sharing rides or whatever. And in the Lyft app, you know, it, first of all, you can send your friends or whoever, your family, the actual link to your GPS to the ride. So while the ride is happening, they can see exactly where the vehicle is going and follow it at every moment. So I love that feature. Very safety forward. And then it'll ask you, it'll say something like if the car has been stopped for too long, it'll ask you, the app, it'll say, is everything okay? And da da da. So I love that they have those built-in safety features. But it don't hurt to have there's another personal safety item is called a pain pen, and it's about the size of a regular writing pen, but it's a stun gun. So it's like you could have that right in your person in your hand, and little Mr. Uber, whoever driver who want to be looksy-looing, looking back too much, doing too much, try it. I got something for you right here. They ain't gonna see it, but they're gonna feel it, you know. So I like the safety tips that we're hearing today, you know, whether, you know, giving us safety tips from different angles, whether you're in an Uber, in a car, or you're at home or whatever.
So a few years ago, I got into a major lawsuit with Lyft because I almost got trafficked in one of their cars. It was a few years ago and the lawsuit already settled, so I feel like I can talk about this, and if I can't, oh well, I already got the money. So let's set the scene. I was going back to Atlanta from LA, and I had a connecting flight, and of course it was like running late, so I'm like sprinting through like all these different airports trying to get to my flight. It's delayed, whatever. So I was going because my mom was having a surgery the next morning that was like really important. I was like, okay girl, like, I'm gonna come take care of you, like I got it, it's fine. She had to be up for this surgery at like 4 a.m. whatever, and so my flight was originally supposed to land and I was supposed to be done with everything by 9 p.m. It ends up being 1 a.m. because of all the delay. She's on some like, Kendall, like I don't want you taking an Uber back from the airport that late. Mind you, I live like almost an hour from the Atlanta airport when I lived in Georgia, and it's really late and yada yada. I'm like, Mom, I live in LA. I've been doing this shit for years on my own. Like I got it. I have this in the bag. This is actually like the simplest thing ever. Okay. I definitely should have taken that advice, because once again, it lands at 1 a.m. She has to be up at 4. So I'm begging her. I'm like, I got this. Just like stay at home, go to bed. Like, girl, why are you texting me on your paraphone? Like, put your paraphone away. And so she does. She listens to me. I'm like, okay, cool. So eventually I get through that fuck ass airport, efficient but fuck ass. And so I finally get a car. Off the rip, I'm already just like not this. The vibes are sketchy. Okay, they're not giving like what I needed to give. And so I'm like, well, it's kind of my only option. I've been sitting here. So I decide to get in the car anyways. So at this point, he keeps talking to me the entire car ride about how good his coffee is. And I'm like, okay. Mind you, I'm looking at this cup and it's like a totally unmarked, like styrofoam cup that like you would buy from the store. And he's driving really fucking fast. I mean, which like isn't really uncommon for Atlanta, but like drivers usually don't drive like that because like, I don't know, they're not supposed to. Thank God I did this. At this time, I went ahead and I shared my location on the app Life 360 with my mom. Now, growing up in high school, if you see my old story times, I fucking hated that app. It saved my life in this scenario. All right, there I am. We're going down the freeway. I'm already a little fucking freaked out. And then kaboom! Okay, I'm telling you, the speed limit had to be like 55, maybe 60. We're pushing 89 miles an hour, and I was only able to exactly know that from that app. Anyways, so all of a sudden, like, you know how like when you're veering off from an interstate, like onto like a main road or like a highway or whatever the fuck they're called, I don't even know, just like those like big medians that are like big thick mamas. Okay, so he absolutely fucking rails one, like literally rails me, like hits it very hard. The entire car spins out. Vroom, vroom. Completely spins out. And on the road that he did this on, where it happened was so like we're right here, over here is a light and it was red. Thank God, because I don't think I would be able to be on this app screaming to you if that light was not red, because every single one of those cars would have been coming. We would have went boom. Okay, anyways, so we get the drift, right? Like I said, I'm kind of freaked out the entire time, but I'm the type to make a joke about anything. So I'm like jokingly texting my friends, like face app pictures of me. I'm like, if I go missing, like please make sure that like my pictures are Facetuned and like what like goes on the news, like make sure I look good. So the car spins out, right? And this happens conveniently, like right across like the other lane was like this really old rundown tire store. And I grew up around this town. To my knowledge, that place hadn't been open in like years. And so he like ends up like, the car is pretty fucked up, but he ends up being able to like get it like into this parking lot of this like tire, like auto shop, whatever, because I don't know why he had to have been drunk. He literally thought that it was just his tire that's fucked up. I'm like, babe, we just spun out. I had on my seatbelt and my head hit the back of the seat. Like your car's pretty fucked, but he does get it in this parking lot. So now it's like probably 2 a.m. and I realize at this point I had been kikiing and ha-haing too much, face apping pictures, making a joke out of this shit, and my portable charger wasn't working. So then I look down at my phone and my shit's on like 2%, and I'm like, oh fuck. So then I start texting my mom. I'm like, 911, like come get me. I also like to share some safety tips that I genuinely think saved my life this night. So first thing I did is I switched over seats to be directly behind him, and I kept on my seatbelt because I knew it's harder to get around to somebody if you were directly behind them in the driver's seat, and he was out of the car at this point, so I knew that he would come over to that side of the door and he would have to reach over me to unbuckle it, and the hardest point on your body is an elbow. Okay, so that's what's going through my mind. I'm not very large and in charge, so I'm not to be like a pick me, but I'm literally just sitting here like this elbow, this shit's gonna hurt to the face. I'm pulling out hair strands, I'm fucking scratching the back seat, the whole fucking 9 yards. And also, if you haven't figured this out by now, I'm loud as fuck. I'm not one to go down without a fight. So he says that he's gonna run into this tire place, right? Mind you, 2 a.m. I know damn well that they're not open, so I already think that that's fucking weird. This one guy meets him in like the shop or whatever and is like looking at the car. I'm just sitting there. My mother's on the way. I can see how fast she's going. I'm on my last 1% of my phone, just trying to make sure that like she's going the right way, whatever. And before, this is also something else to note, I had told him that I said that my dad's stepbrother and mom were on the way to come get me. It was just my mom, but like usually to a man, when you throw in that like 2 men are coming, they're also going to be like, whoa. My nosy ass, also scared at this point, I cracked the window to see what him and this other guy are talking about. And he's like, no, like I don't think that we should do it. Her dad, brother on way, they're going to be here in a few minutes. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, you don't think you should do what the fuck? At this point, I'm just praying, okay? And I look at my phone on like my last 1%, and my mom is 4 minutes away. I look out of the corner of my eye. What the fuck pulls up behind me? A black Suburban. Okay? I'm like, oh my fuck, this is really not good. I decided in that moment to roll down the window just barely enough to where the Uber driver and this other guy could hear me. And I said, hey, my dad's gonna be here in like 30 seconds. He's pulling up any second now. Why the fuck did this Suburban? He says, no, not her. She's smart. This Suburban flies out of this fucking parking lot. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, so I'm sitting there having a fucking stroke, you know, internally, and I'm like, no way. Like, all of those things and all of my days of watching true crime documentaries, like, all of that just worked. And so then my mom pulls up like 2 minutes later, and I'm just sitting there living on a prayer at this point. My mother comes flying into that fucking parking lot, Glock on her fucking lap, okay? Mind you, that it's kind of cunty of her. She has a dipped like Tiffany blue, okay? And I'm like, okay, diva. And so she pulls up, and I just start throwing my shit in the car. I'm just like, go, just go. Mind you, this Uber driver was also begging me from the start whenever y'all are gonna ask why I didn't call the police and why I didn't report it on the app. I was waiting until after because it was an unsafe situation that I was trying to de-escalate and get out of instead of escalate it. He's sitting there panicked out of his mind begging me to not call the police, and I'm like, okay, well, first off, there's already something weird going on here. Like I said, my mom pulls up like a Fast and Furious movie scene, and I get in the car, and then he runs over to my mom's window and starts knocking on it, and she like barely rolls it down. She's like, what? Like, what the fuck do you want? I'm like, what do you want? Like, as if like I'm intimidating, but like I think he knew that I was like not the wrong bitch for real. And he sits there and he's like, just so you know, I was never going to hurt your daughter. I had no intentions of ever hurting your daughter. Who said that? Who said that? Because neither one of us said shit to you about this. I didn't say shit to you in the car when I thought I was about to get trafficked to the fucking cartel and have my head sit in a box somewhere. I didn't fucking say shit. So at that point, we just look at each other and we're like, okay, projection, and we just right out of there. I fractured like 2 different things in my back from that and had to have a lot of physical therapy, chiropractors, whatever, a bunch of different treatments and MRIs and or whatever the fuck they do for that shit. Then we sued the company, and he is no longer a driver to my knowledge, and I did in fact win the lawsuit. It really was not anywhere as much as you would think or what it should have been, but in my like 21-year-old brain, I thought that I was like Jeff Bezos rich. I blew it in about a month. So yeah, keep all those things in mind, and I did in fact almost get trafficked to God knows where. I firmly believe that that's what's going on. What the fuck else would have been going on? So leave for like Hawaii in an hour, and I still have not packed. And if you guys could not tag the company, because I did already win the lawsuit, I really don't want drama or beef with them and get sued for some strange reason. Thank you. Have a good day.
Wow. Like, insane. First of all, I'm really glad that she was able to win her lawsuit, even though it sounds like she should have got a lot more, and she should have. I mean, that was, oh my gosh, it could have went left and went wrong in so many ways, and then she only had 2%, 1% of cell power left, and man, that was just on the edge of your seat right there. And I'm so happy she's here to tell the story, and that she is okay and she is good, and that she's able to pass on the safety tips to us as well. I'm glad her mom was able to come and show up with the Tiffany blue pew pew. Love it. That was amazing. And I'm just glad she had the help to come get her. You know, everybody don't have somebody, so sometimes you got to have your own back, and she did for the most part. You know, just always carry some personal safety items with you, and if something feels off, follow your instincts, because I even had something really crazy that could have been a potential in traffic situation, if you will, trying to just avoid saying that word by itself. But oh yeah, it was late. It was really late one night coming back. I was coming back home, and I was driving on the highway. There may have been like one car up ahead, and then there was a car way behind. Well, you know, it was not even that many cars on the highway. It's like it might have been maybe 2, 3 in the morning, something like that. And all of a sudden, you know, and I'm in the far right lane, just cruising along, you know, and then all of a sudden, boom, I get rear-ended by the car behind me. And so I was like, oh my gosh. And with it being the hour, and I looked at my rearview mirror, it was a man in the car, and I was just like, I mean, whoever, but man in wee hours, you know, strange man in wee hours, that's not a good combination. So I was like, no. And then I saw his car was it kind of slowed down, like it was, because I feel like he expected me to pull off of the highway and, oh, let's exchange information and oh, we're on the police. And no, I'm not doing none of that. I actually took off and went faster and got the heck out of Dodge because it just was too weird, y'all. I was like, no, because even when you call the police, you got to wait for them to come. So I was like, no, I'm not going to be standing outside by myself with some strange man who literally just rear-ended me for no reason, because there was plenty of space between us when I had first looked in the rearview mirror, and then all of a sudden you ram up close and go boom. That was one person I had told the story to. They were like, oh, well, maybe he was just drunk. Da, da, da. I guess, whatever. But you know what? I wasn't going to stick around and find out. I wasn't going to find out whatever his reasoning was, drunk, in traffic person, or whatever. You wasn't going to get me. I wasn't going to get caught slipping that night, So that just goes to show you with this guy making this accident happen. Was the accident even real, or was that a made up act? He created the accident. So, but I mean, oh my God, the people in the black Suburban who came, the guy who came and they told her like, oh no, she's smart, keep going, and it skirted off. Like, that's insane. Some people are really gone in the mind, and we have to be as wise as we can be, follow our instincts, let people know where we're at as much as we can. A friend, a family member, somebody, they have those apps that can, kind of keep an eye on people. And it's like, people might be trying to be nosy, but better somebody being nosy and you safe than having nobody to care about what you're doing, where you're at, and you being left alone and vulnerable, So yeah, that was wild.
My uncle was in law enforcement for 25 years, and these are the most overlooked things that he has told me as far as safety goes. So number one, and I'm just gonna name these off the top of my head, what I can think of, like things he's told me throughout the years. So I know it's cute, I know it's fun, but bedazzled, license plate, pink, fuzzy steering wheel covers, anything that implies like this is a woman driving in this vehicle, don't do that, because it can target you. When you're in the store and they can see a woman is coming back to this car, it puts you at risk. Trust me, I like all the fun things too. I am a pink glitter girl, but I keep my car neutral, black, everything. It's not worth it. If you are coming home at night to your apartment complex and you feel like someone's following you, when you go up to your apartment, don't turn on the light, because they're going to know which apartment is yours because you just turn on the light. As you're walking up to your car from the parking lot or from wherever, you can see under your car if you kind of like pay attention, but always like kind of look under your car as you're approaching your vehicle, just make sure nobody's under your car. Also, when you're in the car, check the trunk of your car, like if you have a hatch, I assume that's what he meant, to make sure no one's back there, because if someone's in the hatch, the trunk part of your car, and you start driving and they have that leverage to come up behind you, not good. Keep a pair of men's work boots or work shoes like in your front door, like maybe bring them in and out every once in a while, just to make it look like a man is staying there if they're not. Keep your mouth shut. You don't owe anybody any information about you. Don't even tell anyone your name, or if you're not comfortable being like, hey, I'm not gonna tell you your name, just make it up. You do not owe people the truth. If someone's like, hey, where do you live, or do you live around here, just lie. You know you're allowed to do that, right? It like feels weird. Just lie. Y'all need to start lying to strangers. Fake a phone call. If you're in an elevator and a man steps in last second and the door closes, get on your phone and say, hey babe, yep, I'm coming down to you right now. I'll be there in like 2 seconds. Fake a phone call. I've literally heard so many my whole life. I feel like this video is getting long, but let me know if you want a part 2.
Those were some great tips. Love that. And, I just had an idea that came to my mind because I thought about doing it myself at one point. But, if you live in apartments and you don't want to give, I don't know, anybody, whoever, your actual apartment, give them the address to the leasing office, so that way you can avoid altogether whatever it's for, whether it's for delivery or a ride pickup or whatever, just give them that one so they don't have yours. That's to me a quick little easy tip that you can that you can implement right away. But lots of great tips in that video.
Okay, I'm back from my walk, but I did want to talk about trail safety real quick because something did happen this week that was a little weird, made me feel a little unsafe. So I've updated what I bring with me to the trail. This is good for anybody, whether you're, especially women, whether you're walking alone, whether you're walking with a partner. It's always good to protect yourself. Previously, when I would trail walk, I'd have this little bling sting alarm. You press this, oops, and it's pretty loud. So whether somebody's up on you, you need to alert people of your whereabouts, you hit that button, boom, bam. I've switched over to the birdie. It's just as loud. It also has a light on it. So same deal, it's just for me, it's easier if I need to pull it real quick to get either people's attention to where I'm at or scare somebody away. Next thing I've got is pepper gel, and this straps onto my hand, so all I have to do is flip the safety and if I need to. Very important, this is the Saber pepper gel. You can get on Amazon. I'm pretty sure you can get it at the store like Walmart too. Better than keychain pepper spray to me, because with that you gotta fumble with it, pull it out, This is just in my hand, ready to go at all times. All right, this may or may not be a little extra, but I also have a taser, You just never know. Hopefully nobody's that close to you to have to use it, but I've got it on this little belt holster on my little running belt. This also has a pocket if you need to put, I don't know, more pepper spray in there, whatever, what have you. I also have this knife right here. It's not as easy to put back in, but anyway. Now this last thing is definitely a luxury. This is not a necessity. Not everybody has this, but for me, metal glasses. Okay, chill, metal. Because with what happened to me, I want to be able to have evidence. I want to be able to record and see the person. Like, this is what this person looks like if I ever have to identify them for whatever reason. What else? Oh, I learned this recently, but keeping your hair in a bun, not a ponytail, not down, whatever, having it in a bun so that nobody can come behind you and pull you, What else? Just be aware of your surroundings. Unfortunately for women, we've got to walk with our head on a swivel. So yeah, just be aware of your surroundings. Walk in a group or with somebody else if you can. I know it's not always feasible for everyone, but just stay safe.
And that was a perfect way to end our video. She basically did a whole showcase of all of our featured items up here today, of most of them, a good bit of them. She had the birdie alarm, the hand wrap gel spray, the taser, the knife, good stuff. And I'm like, she's definitely was like my spirit animal. I like how she was strapped up. You hear me? Strapped up. And since I'm a trail walker too, she has definitely inspired me to get all of these items. I have some on the way as we speak. So just love that she was able to show us those items in action, how they work, give them a little test drive so we can see them. So definitely. So ladies, there we go. We heard some very, some awful stories that happened to these brave women, but we can leave off with their tips. Take them, share them with friends and family, these tips. Gift these personal items to family and friends. I think I would love this if I got a gift box of these personal safety items. I would be like, yes, oh my gosh. I think that would be amazing. So gift them, share the knowledge that you've gained today. Let me know down below, what was your favorite tip? What's your favorite personal item that you plan on getting? yeah, wonderful information. So definitely chime in down below and stay safe out there. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for hanging out with the Gorgiss Society.